Yes, people, what's going on? It's your boy Big Oaks, and welcome back to the Voice of the Tune. Today we are talking Manchester City. Newcastle go away to Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium, live on TV on Saturday night. It's a weird one. It's an 8 p.m. kickoff. We don't really see those on a Saturday, but I believe it's because of Man City played yesterday in Greece against Sevilla in the Super Cup, which I'll get onto. So another tough game off the back of our 5-1, our 5-star performance last weekend against Aston Villa, who a lot of people were talking up, saying, "Oh, Aston Villa are the real deal. They've got a good manager." People were saying Aston Villa are going to finish above us. I understand it's only one game, but we just silenced a lot of people, because people were talking, man. Even in my group chats as well, like people were telling me, "Oh, Villa are better than you guys." But we showed people the levels. Like the levels from last year hasn't dropped in it, and a lot of guys were talking about how are Newcastle going to be there again? Can they perform at the same level as we did last year? And we've shown that, that's what we intend to do. I understand it's going to get harder as we play in Champions League. I'm not stupid, but that's why we're trying to build our squad depth and getting in players, good players, to fit in the side. But now that we're still playing one game a week, we are forced to be reckoned with. And last week we saw that, we saw how aggressive we were, how good on the ball we were, and how clinical we were too. And all the depth in the side now is starting to show, because we're bringing people off the bench who are also making an impact. Murphy's still playing well. Harvey Barnes came on, scored a goal and an assist. Maybe should have had another assist or a goal. So everyone's pulling their weight, man. And we now face the champions, the champions of the land. They've won 5 out of 6 Premier League. So these are serial winners. The FA Cup champions, the European champions. They lost in a community shield to Arsenal on penalties. But then last night I watched them play against Sevilla in the Super Cup in Athens, and obviously, hopefully that game takes a lot out of them, because obviously they're playing Wednesday, and Pep has some things to say. He said, "Thanks, Premier League, because knowing that we're playing on Wednesday, now you still put us to play on a Saturday, not even Sunday or Monday, but Saturday." So hopefully that works in our favour, because hopefully Man City haven't recovered well, and that works in our favour. But I watched quite a bit of Man City this season. Their game against Arsenal, I watched that game very closely because I knew that they were our second game, and I watched them play against Burnley, which was live on Sky, and also I watched them yesterday. So and in all 3 games, I saw a common feature, which was Man City are there to be gotten at. We can get at them, if you have the quality to cause them problems, and you have the answers to your questions. I do believe you can get some joy out of this team. Especially in midfield. They are very light in midfield. Rodri is a fantastic player. If you want to stop Man City now, I feel like you've got to stop Rodri and Haaland, because now there's no KDB. He got injured against Burnley. Pep is looking at Rodri now from set pieces. He's a threat. He scored a goal against Burnley and an assist, and he got the assist yesterday for Cole Palmer's goal. So, Pep's looking at Rodri as his go-to guy now to be crossing the balls in, to make more of an impact. So. But in midfield, I do believe they are a bit light in there, and they can be gotten at, because obviously they have either Foden, who's also a great player, Bernardo Silva, but physically it doesn't match with us. We've got Tonali, Bruno, and Joelinton. Physically, we outnumbered them, and I saw in certain times in the game against Burnley, like when they went 1-0 up, Burnley had some pressure put on Man City, but they just couldn't take their chances, and they didn't know how to find that extra bit of quality, to expose Man City and put the ball in the back of the net. But we do. I feel like we do. I feel like we have the players to cause them problems. Like I said, especially midfield, out wide as well, and also up top Isak. So it's going to be a fantastic game. In previous seasons, I'm never confident about us going to Etihad. We've been smashed there 5-0. I've been to Etihad. I've seen us lose there 5-0. I've seen us lose 3-1 last season in February. We played them, and even though we played well, but we didn't take our chances. I recall Callum Wilson missing a sitter. I think Joelinton missed a sitter. Gordon miskicked the ball, and Man City had the quality to score and to score again. So we didn't take our chances, and that's what we need to do this weekend against them. Take our chances and expose their weaknesses. Because Kevin De Bruyne, without Kevin De Bruyne, Man City are not the same side. They don't tick as well. They don't find Haaland as well. So Haaland is quiet when there's no De Bruyne, because he's usually the one who's sort of finding him and like putting the balls in the box. Whereas the other sort of guys, they're more ball to feet, and Haaland is not that sort of guy. So that works to our advantage. But at the same time, Haaland is lethal. You can't give that guy a second. We saw against Burnley, both his goals. His second goal was just outrageous. It was emphatic. So the threat is still there. They still have the quality players. And yes, they can be got at, but we can't be too naive and make it an open game, because that's what Haaland thrives off. He thrives off it being of space. And if you give them space, they're going to punish you. They're going to find the space, and they'll punish you. And I recall Bruno talking about Man City last season. He said that playing Man City is probably the hardest game to play, because it feels like there's two of them. There's two players in against one in all positions, and that's what they do. They move the ball around so quickly. Their movement off the ball is so effective, and that's what we got to stop on Saturday. And I believe we can do that. Just ask them the right questions and take our chances. Our record there stinks. Like I mentioned, we've been smacked there many times, but we've not won away in the league at Man City since 2000, and that was at the Old Ground at Main Road. So hopefully that narrative gets changed and we go there and we get the win. But I'm not expecting us to get the win, but I do believe that we've got the players and the quality now to get the win and to challenge these top sides at their grounds now. So I am confident, because they had a grueling game against Sevilla, which was quite a physical game, which I watched last night, and that went all the way to penalties, which they won 5-4 penalties. So that would have taken some sting out of them. And obviously us guys were fresh. So obviously the first 5 games are difficult, but it's best to get these games out of the way now. Man City are known not to be fast starters. They usually pick up pace around January, February time. So they're known to be not as fast off the block, at the blocks. And now's the time to play them, because we're playing one game a week. Whereas I would not want to play them if we're playing Champions League and then the league later on. So difficult on the squad. Whereas now one game a week, we're still fresh, and I feel like now's the best time to play them. So based on that, I'm confident that we can go there and get something. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Obviously, City still have the quality. They've got fantastic players. They've got a brilliant manager, and it is their first home game of the season. So they'll be looking to put down a marker. They'll be wary of our threat as well, but they'll be looking to put down a marker to say, listen, like, Newcastle are a good side, but let's see what we can do to them. So it's going to be a great game of football. Hopefully not too open, but open in our favour, where we can cause them problems, and especially in transition as well. Once we win the ball back in our half, because City like to dominate the ball. So once we win the ball back, go, Big Joe, get us up the pitch, and cause the problems. And so 1-1 draw. I do believe City will score first, and then we would come back with an equaliser. Kiliman Isak yet again with his beautiful goals against Aston Villa. I believe he'll fire again, and we believe there with our heads held high, but not quite the win. But we're going to show the teams in Premier League and the people watching that Newcastle are here to stay. A lot of people thought we're going to fall off this season because, I don't know, last year was a fluke, but nah, we're here to keep the same level, and we've shown against Villa, and we're going to show it again against Man City on Saturday. So the team that I will choose, I believe I'd make one change. I thought to keep it the same, but I'd make one change. Obviously the back 5 picks itself. Nick Pope, considering that everyone's all fit. You got Trippier, Dan Botman and Shaw and Botman, and then Dan Burn at left back. Obviously we were signing Lewis Hall, and Dan Burn needs protection. I recall in the last game against City at the Etihad, I believe it was Anthony Gordon. Usually Big Joe was doing that job in that period, but Gordon came in, and Phil Foden just ran through ran through Dan Burn's side because I feel like Dan Burn had another player who was marking, but so then he didn't have the protection that he needed. And against Man City, these players are good enough to cause him problems. Not to single him out, but I feel like if they were to get some joy, it'll be down that side. So I'll start Dan Burn anyways because he's been reliable, and again against Villa he had a good game. And then the midfield three again: Bruno, Big Joe, and Sandro Tonali. I said Tonali, not Tonali, Tonali. And then out wide is where I make the change. So I'll keep Amir on. Obviously he had a good preseason, so I'll keep him, and I'll start Harvey Barnes, man. Why not? Because now Newcastle now we are in a place where we got players now, innit? So, and there's competition, so no one's starting is a given. No one, bar a few like Trippier and Bruno and stuff, but in those areas out wide, it's not a given. So we saw the impact Barnes made when he came on. He could have had 2 goals and an assist, or like I said, 2 assists and a goal. So I believe he is a bit more aggressive in the attack than Anthony Gordon. Probably just got a bit more experience, a bit more end product. So I'll start Harvey Barnes, give him a chance. We saw him in pre-season in the Seller Cup with the 2 goals, and obviously last weekend. So I'll start Harvey Barnes ahead of Anthony Gordon. Did this game, keep the players working hard, keep them hungry for starting places, and show the manager show them that if you play well, the reward is starting. So Harvey Barnes out wide with Almiron, and up top Kiliman Isak to lead the line. What a player, man! What a player! Like, I don't have any bad thing to say about him. But that's the team I'll play. Going for a 1-1 draw. I'm confident that we will get something from there. We just need to take our chances, play well, not leave too much space for Man City to exploit, and we leave there with a point. If we get the win, we get the win. Happy days. But I do believe we'll go there and cause them problems because Man City can be gotten at. So it's your boy Big Ogs. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and to comment, and to hit that button to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video, and I'm out.